Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday. Yes, it's midweek already. The week is running by really fast. And of course, it's the conversation on TOS Television Network. And as always, we're reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Adesiwa Osuyi.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us on the conversation this morning. Good morning, Adesua.
Good morning, Sagir. It's good to see you again today.
Yes. So the weather is also cool today.
Yes.
It looked like it was going to. I think it rained for
It
a couple
didn't.
of
I thought it was
minutes.
going to rain. I was praying for it to rain. I actually love rain. I love rainy days. I thought it was going
And
to
then
rain.
if it had rained, we would have done the conversation this morning.
Oh, we would have still been here. I mean, it rained yesterday and we're here, right? So we would have still been here. All right. So with that, we'll bring you the quote of the day. And of course, after that, we'll be bringing you stories from across Africa.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
All right, welcome back. We're going to be diving into some of the stories now. Starting from Ethiopia, Eritrea's foreign minister Osman Saleh has blamed the United States for the current conflict in northern Ethiopia's Tigray region, adding that blaming Eritrea for the fight was unfounded. The minister said this in a letter to the United Nations Security Council on Monday, where he accused President Joe Biden's administration of stoking further conflict and destabilization through interference and intimidation in the region, apparently to resuscitate the remnants of the Tigray People's Liberation Front regime. What do you think about that one?
One thing I know for sure is anytime there is a breakdown of violence anywhere at all in the world, there's always people who are interested, who have vested interest,
Yes.
and who, for one reason or the other, might not want the
conflict to be resolved.
Exactly, the conflict to be resolved. So this might just be one of those cases. You know, we might not know what their interests are yet.
Yes.
But however, it is not impossible, and it might not be far from the truth to say they had a vested interest in it.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, moving forward to the Twitter ban in Nigeria. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has said the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, has the right to decide whether or not to prosecute the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, the founder and General Superintendent of Deeper Life Christian Life Ministry Worldwide, Pastor William Kumuyi, as well as other violators of the Twitter ban imposed by the federal government. The minister made this known on Monday evening during an interview with BBC News Africa. I think this is a selective, a selective way of is it arresting and convicting people who do use Twitter after the Twitter ban? Because
Yes.
for you to come out and say the Attorney General of the Federation reserves the right to do so, to prosecute or convict those who, it's looking like it's selective to me. So what happens to ordinary Nigerians who have to use Twitter, not because they want to communicate with their members across 170 countries in the world,
but they have to do
because
business.
They need to do business and they need to survive doing this business. So I will now be prosecuted because I opened Twitter. However, the general overseer of a church or someone else who is supposed to be a big name in society, you now say the AGF reserves the right whether or not to prosecute them or not. I mean, it looks like double standards to me, if you ask me.
Well, we're just going to see how all of it unfolds.
Yeah, see how it plays out.
Okay, this one is, still here in Nigeria, where the coalition of northern groups, as the CNG, has reacted to the recent remarks by Southeast Sociocultural Group Ohanaeze Ndigbo against the Igbo secession bid, describing it as a hypocritical attempt to fool the nation. In a statement by the group, its spokesperson, Abdulaziz Suleiman, reminded Ohanaeze And the Igbos that they can only fool some people sometimes, but cannot fool all the people all the time. I think this is just, a build-up to, we're still looking forward. We're still waiting for how all of this unfold, the build-up to the 2023 general elections and all of that stuff.
But I'll say this. I watched an interview with the first agitator of Biafra, and that is Major Chukwuemeka. Sorry, Major Ojukwu, or is it General Ojukwu?
Yeah.
I can't seem to remember his rank right now.
Now.
Anyways, in that interview, Ojukwu said they were the ones who witnessed firsthand what happened during the war.
Yes.
And if you should ask him,
yes,
he was the one who first started agitating for Biafra.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to ever
yes.
witness such happen
I saw
again.
that interview too. And I'm
They've done it the first time.
Can people actually just listen to him, just see that?
Exactly.
Because it's as they say, if you weren't there, you don't know the bulk of the story. People that were there at the time, I think everyone, I don't know anyone that I've seen that was alive at the time or during the time, the Civil War, that has not said,
supports.
we don't want
anyone.
it anymore, that we cannot afford to have it anymore.
What we need to understand is, war has a snowballing effect, and it affects everyone.
I mean, there are people that are still even trying to recover from the effect of the Civil War.
Exactly.
Years ago.
Yes. So while I'm not saying it is wrong for them to agitate, but there are other ways you could actually actualize these agitations outside war. So they should stop making it look like for them to actualize this struggle, it has to be through war. Because truly, if you have not passed through war, or if you've not seen a war firsthand, I don't think you can ever understand it. Exactly. I have not seen one, but then again, I would not pray to see one to understand it, because from the stories I have heard, I don't think I would want to see one.
I don't think anyone wants to actually see that. All right, with that, we'll bring you COVID-19 updates from across Africa. And of course, after that, we'll be bringing you newspaper headlines for this morning.
North to South Africa, East to West Africa, TOS TV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Watch us.
Welcome back. It is still the conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. And do remember, you could also be a part of the conversation by connecting with us on our various social media platforms currently showing on your screen. Okay, this is the newspaper segment, and this morning we'll be starting with the Daily Trust newspaper. And for the banner headline, we see OPC kills community leader, 3 herders in Oyo State. And underneath, we have a couple of riders there. Settlements raised in Ogun. I'm not behind Igongon attacks. Evicted Serkin Fulani. Allow Amotekun to carry AK-47. And this is coming from Makinde. IPOP killed 128 soldiers, policemen, says the army. And underneath the picture of the day, we see 62,000 schools nationwide prone to attacks, and this is from the NSCDC. Underneath, we see FG loses 50% vehicle import duty levies to smugglers, according to reports. There are a couple of other headlines on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. You could quickly grab a copy to read the main stories.
On the Daily Times newspaper this morning, from the very top, the first headline there says, "Man slaps French President Macron." Then the banner headline on the Daily Times newspaper, Obasanjo, Sultan, others to meet over national crisis. On National Morning, Senate mourns TB Joshua, moves against piracy. On social media, federal government in talks with Twitter, U.S. ambassador to Nigeria reveals. The last headline on the Daily Times newspaper this morning on global website, global outage hits U.S.-UK government website, CNN, others. All of these stories are inside the Daily Times newspaper this morning.
Okay, and we move to the Nigerian News Direct newspaper, and on the banner headline, NLNG generates $110 billion in 22 years, and this is according to the MD. This story could be found on page 16, and underneath we have a couple of riders there. Seals Gas sales purchase agreement with 3 firms account for 40% of domestic LPG demand. Underneath we have a couple of other headlines. Cotton production, Ogun set to create 14,000 new jobs, acquires 4,500 hectares of land, and this can be found on page 13. Senate mourns TB Joshua, condoles family, and just underneath, Twitter ban, reps summon Lai Mohammed as PDP caucus stage walkout. All this, as well as other stories, could be found on the Nigerian News Direct newspaper of this morning.
And the last newspaper we're going to be looking at this morning is the Blueprint newspaper. The very first headline there says, Northern traders threaten to cut off food supply nationwide. Alleged harassment by security agents in Southeast give 3-week ultimatum. That's on page 6. Underneath that, Senate panel on audit reports indicts 59 NDAs. That's on page 7. The banner headline is on Twitter ban controversy. Serap 176 concerned Nigerians head to ECOWAS court. Wants federal government suspension order reversed. Violators will be punished according to law. That's coming from Lai Mohammed. Reps begin investigation. Summon information ministers. That's on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. There are quite other headlines on the Blueprint newspaper this morning. Just grab yourself a copy of this paper and then you can read up on all of them.
Okay, that's it for the newspaper segment. We'll go on a quick break now, and when we come back, we'll be bringing you what's trending on social media. Don't go anywhere.
This man I have been creative design. We really like it, but
you deserve a break. You can indulge in a cup of 3-in-1 Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Indulge. Now available in the 450 grams pouch.
Welcome to what's trending on social media here on The Conversation this morning. So what's been trending on social media? Before we get into all of that, you have to be a part of the TOS TV community. All you need to do is follow TOS TV Network on Facebook, Instagram, and I think now, I don't know if now we can say Twitter, but yes, on Twitter as well. And of course, you can also subscribe to TOS TV Network on YouTube. You can also watch The Conversation and other programs on www.tostvnetwork.com. Now, what is trending on social media? So, Lai Mohammed, that's the Minister of Information and Culture in Nigeria, has been trending on social media. You know, he was actually the one that gave the news that Twitter has been banned in Nigeria, and also directed the NBC to regulate broadcast media organizations who's to use the platform, that's supposed to use Twitter. So I'm going to read out, you know, what Nigerians are saying about Lai Mohammed. The first one is from @Onkwajala. And he says, some people are saying just Twitter ban. I'm seeing Lai Mohammed and federal government going after people's sources of income, means of paying bills, and increasing unemployment rate in Nigeria with Twitter ban. Aisha Yusufu says those who have never protested against the bad governance will come out and protest when their spiritual leaders are arrested. If Lai Mohammed's threat is carried out, we will have millions of protesters on the streets. Buhari has nuisance value. We should use it. Reno Mokri says Lai Mohammed will destroy the Buhari government with his mouth more than Buhari's enemies. He has succeeded in alienating Nigerians from the government. He's meant to be an image maker, but has ended up as a damage maker. Hashtag Malami come and arrest me. Hashtag Twitter ban. Hashtag table shaker. And the last is from Simply Rums. Wait, Lai Mohammed actually granted a press interview for a deleted tweet on the same day it was taken down, but has not granted interviews for abducted school kids, Boko Haram and ISOP killings, inflation and all of that, or more times 1 million. Sagiri, I want to hear your reaction to this one. What do you think about all of this? What do you think about that? I mean, Lai Mohammed has always been dragged on Twitter and on social media, but this time, everyone is talking about the Twitter ban. Everyone is talking about why. Everyone is saying, look, people are losing income, jobs. You know, a lot of people actually, Twitter is a source of a livelihood to a lot of persons, but it has been taken away from them. What do you think about all of this?
Well, what I can say is there are a lot of frail nerves right now. A lot of Nigerians are angry. A lot of Nigerians are agitated. A lot of Nigerians are aggrieved. So, and it's also more annoying when it looks like the government doesn't have its priorities right, especially with what has been playing out. I mean, I don't know whether I said this here, but yesterday I was having a conversation and I said, the government has the capacity and the technology to track those using Twitter.
Yes. You mentioned it yesterday.
But don't have the capacity to track or find the hideouts of insurgents, to track those who have been perpetrating acts of violence, to track those who have been kidnapping school children, to track armed bandits and the likes. But you have the means of tracking users of Twitter. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It looks like a misplaced priority to me. So until it looks like the government has its priorities straight, people will continue to get angry and will drag whoever it is that falls into that category.
But talking about priority, I think it was, I don't know if it was this week or last week, I was reading the front page of the newspaper, and then when they were saying, look, over how many millions of Nigerians have lost their jobs because of this Twitter ban. And then I think it was the federal government that said the security of Nigeria is more important than, you know, jobs or whatever.
Okay, I think it was Lai Mohammed who said it, and he said, if there is no country, there will be no human rights. I think that's how it works. That is his understanding of the situation. So he feels it is better to save the country, so there would be a human right at least to be enjoyed. So violating one human right is just a meager sacrifice one has to pay in order to save the country. That's his understanding. But however, that's not what Nigerians feel.
Well, we're waiting for how all of this plays out. I think I've been waiting for how all of this is going to play out the whole week. That's it for what's trending on social media. I'm going to go on a break now, and when we come back, we'll be bringing you the big story.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. The farm say sabi. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you not to pass your power. You want to show yourself, oh.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. It is still the conversation on TOS TV Network, your digital first Pan-African news network. And as always, you could be a part of the conversation by connecting with us on our various social platforms as well as on YouTube and via our website with the details currently shown on the screen. Okay, it is a big story and we would focus on Twitter ban and the economic implications. Of course, we're going to be focusing on what Nigerians stand to lose following the ban on Twitter. And joining us this morning to discuss is Mr. Aliyu Audu, and he is an economist. Thank you very much for joining us on the conversation, Mr. Aliyu.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, so, sir, what are some of the economic implications on the ban of Twitter in Nigeria? Because, as you know, there's definitely going to be a lot of implications following the ban, as a lot of people actually use it for various reasons, like marketing and the likes of that. So what are some of these implications?
Well, first and foremost, the most important implication is that it's a negative signal to investors around the world that want to come and invest in Nigeria. Now, as you know, we're looking for investors because we have a struggling economy. With this ban, it's going to send a negative message to people that want to come and invest in Nigeria. What it says is that when you invest in Nigeria, the government can wake up one day and take hold of your investment. And that sends shivers down investors. So that is not a good thing for us at all.
Okay.
And
go on.
Secondly, obviously a lot of businesses and people use Twitter to make money, MSMEs, and a ban on Twitter is going to stifle their activities, meaning they cannot continue with their business, and that is a loss to the economy. So that is the second point.
Okay.
But the most important point is sending a negative message to investors all over the world. And people wouldn't want to come and invest in Nigeria based on this.
Okay.
It will reduce the appetite of investors.
Okay. Talking about people using, the Twitter to do business, it's been said that there's a potential loss of about 65 million naira monthly. 65 billion naira monthly, with the ban on Twitter. Do you think the ban is actually worth it? Looking at, that figure.
I don't think it's worth it because, as you can see, we're a struggling economy. We need foreign direct investment. We need to create employment. We need to increase production. We're a consuming economy. We're import dependent. The dollar is going up. So we don't need any economic distraction at this stage. Anything we need to do to keep the economy going. So the ban is not in any way in our favor. It's going to hurt the economy and it's going to hurt us. So that is where we are.
Okay. So the Minister of Information, like I was saying earlier, said that it is better for us to have a country where Nigerians can enjoy their human rights rather than have no country with no human rights. So the question is, do you think it is justifiable for the Minister of Information to have put security as a major reason why the ban was effected? Because, he said Twitter has been used on several occasions as an avenue to share hate messages, to share misinformation. Now, looking at it from the government's perspective, do you feel the ban is an appropriate measure to take against Twitter?
As opposed to economic implications of the ban?
Well, first of all, there should be freedom of information, freedom of movement, freedom of people able to interact. Now, you cannot stifle communication and people's views. Everybody has different views. And if you say you want to only project a particular view, then you're going to have problem because we are in a multidimensional economy and world. We have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have Facebook. So there are different means of communication. So I think the best step that would have the government would have been to send them a warning and engage them. I do not think in this stage, because if you ban Twitter, Facebook is there. If you ban Facebook, Instagram is there. If you ban Instagram, phones are there. How many things are you going to ban? So I think if I don't know what the security implications are, but if there is a security implication, I think the ideal thing to do is to engage Twitter and set up some rules and regulations for them to follow. But banning them at this stage, we have a dying economy, we have a high rate of unemployment, we really need a lot of foreign direct investment because we're a consuming economy. So we don't need that at this stage, especially with what is going on. And we need help. We don't need to engage the United States or the UK or any other country because we have a lot of security issues. We need their help to be able to solve the issue of Boko Haram and all the Sahel insecurities going on. So we don't need to be on the negative side, rather on the positive side. So I think this is the time we play like the underdogs and engage them and dialogue with them to achieve, our goals and objectives.
Okay. So personally, do you think that the government actually understand the economic implication of this? And if they do you think they care about it?
Well, I don't know how the government thinks or how they care because I'm not in government, but all I can say is I can state out the facts that is not a positive thing to us abroad. Nobody's going to look at it and say, well, Nigeria has done well. I mean, maybe China can do that, maybe America can do that because they are at a particular stage of their economy that they have very low unemployment rate. They are doing very well. Currently in China, they are talking about they've abandoned the one-child policy. They want to increase population and all that. It is the opposite in Nigeria. We have a lot of population, unemployment, less food, high rate of the dollar is increasing every day. So we cannot take such strong positions that will make us look, that will make us look back to the world. We need to be engaging. We need to do like the underdogs, and we need to, interact with other countries. And if there's anything that is going contrary to our rules and regulations, we should interact, not to ban them. So there are economic implications which is negative to Nigeria. Whether the government knows that, I don't know, but I can always tell them there are negative implications. And we should not go into any fight with anybody at this stage. Rather, we should engage them in order to solve the huge security issues that we have, as well as the economic issues. We need a lot of help from abroad. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ali, for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us on the conversation this morning. It has been such an amazing show, and I hope you do join us tomorrow. But before we then, follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. And of course, you can stream the conversation on www.tostvnetwork.com. And while you're doing that, you can also subscribe to TOS TV Network on YouTube. My name is Adesuwa Osui.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us today.